Hello everyone, welcome here. Today, we are going to play some Opus Magnum. Yeah. Anyway. Specifically, we're going to play the DLC some more. So it looks like the next thing is reactive lead. Okay. We have to combine 2 lead with a salt and 2 salt with a lead. Or not salt, quicksilver. Okay. And we have iron to start with. So if we look at our little chart here, we get 2 quicksilver out of making lead. Something like that. Let's see. This is what we need. Yeah, we get 2 quicksilver out of every iron. And that gives us... Yeah, lead and we get a lead and 2 quicksilver out of every iron. Which is a problem. Because we need to have even amounts. So we could make these out of iron very easily. Making these out of iron, well, a little more complicated. So we might want to use the Glyph of Division instead. I think the Glyph of Division will give us a lead and a tin, maybe? Let's see what happens if we do it. Yeah. Okay, that gives us a lead and a tin. And then we can take that tin and split a bit off of it. And that'll give us a lead and a quicksilver. So there we go. We have 2 lead and a quicksilver on this side. And on the other side, we can just take our iron and subtract 2 quicksilver from it, and we'll have what we need for this. Alright, easy enough. So arm 1, we'll do that, and arm 2, we'll do that. All right. Okay, this will be a lead drop there. And then for here, we need another one of these. That'll make another lead. Hello, Sealith. Alright, let's try bouncing the Twitch bot. Because for some reason, server sent events is not working. Okay. There we go. Now, why the hell weren't you working before I did that? Oh well. Alright. That's fixed. Not sure what caused the problem in the first place, but for some reason some of my backend stuff was dead. Alright. Let me put you there. Wait, no, that's wrong. Test? Somebody said there was going to be a test. I haven't studied. Well, you don't have to study. My server has to study, apparently. Okay. That's not going to be very workable. Yeah, I don't like anything about this one. Could make this a piston arm. Or, for a lot cheaper, put this on a track. Swing it around, then move it in and dump there. Yeah, basically I have a system that the same server that handles the Twitch bot and also handles my alert overlays. It's already listening to Twitch messages and logging them, by the way. Wow. Anyway, it's not logging them in a manner that preserves them long term. Not that anyone would care if I did. But anyway, it's already listening to chat messages for the bot trigger phrases. So I just have a little bit of extra logic in the section that examines the trigger phrases, and it sends events over the same event channel that handles my overlay alerts whenever there's been a chat message and it's been more than, I think it's 30 seconds since the last chat message. And then I have a separate server sent events client that listens into that and plays a sound whenever that happens. Which, unfortunately, makes it harder to ignore you guys. At least when it's working. Well, it wasn't working for some reason. Okay, if I put this here, we can grab... Wait, what am I doing? This can go there. This can go here, that can go there. Then we just swing like this, probably, actually. Okay, the problem here is we can't swing across that. Not easily. But we could do this. Okay. I can't get exactly the angle I want because of stupid hex grid. Unless we do that. That gets me something much more closely approximating the angle I want. But then I have to go... Okay, so this can grab off here, move to there, move to there. But then we need to go from this tile to this tile. Which we can do with a too long arm. Okay, that works. Boom. And then that can't go there like that. Because it'd want to be rotated like this. Which obviously this is in the way. Well, I could do this with a double-ended arm. Okay. And then this one needs to end here. So this one can be a double-ended arm as well. Or no, wait. It needs to end here. We could make a double-ended arm speed up slightly, but a triple arm would be better if I really wanted speed. And then this one just has to move like that. Alright, so we won't worry about speeding it up anymore right now. Let's program this side first. Okay, arm 3. After arm 1 drops, arm 3, you grab, you rotate, you reset. Arm 4. At the same time as arm 3, you grab, you rotate twice, and then drop. I am going to make that a 3. Yeah. And then arm 5, at some point after that first rotation, I believe right there is the first moment we could possibly grab. You grab, you rotate once, and you just keep rotating 3 times before you release. Wait, no. This one's got to go before arm 4 finishes its rotation. Let's see if this works. Okay, no. Arm 4's got to move. One tick later. And it can't because the damn lead is in the way. It's not a matter of it rotating and hitting, it's because the arms swing, see? So we could rotate it out of the way and then rotate it back. That might work. That does work, okay. But then we need a tick of delay here. Okay, the tick of delay has to be there. Okay, that's working. I don't like what I have to do with arm 4 to make that work. There's surely a much better plan for that. So... yeah, I really don't like this little dance it does in the middle there. Is there a way I could restructure this so it doesn't collide? Maybe. If I moved these bits farther apart, it would probably work. But now we're getting into alignment trouble. Yeah. Yeah, so this one's got to go to the middle there. Unless I was to assemble it a little bit more piecemeal. try this. Just to see how. Okay. Arm 2, you sit over there for now, out of the way. Okay, arm 4, what are you doing? You grab, you rotate, you rotate. That's the same one I just had. Wait. Which one did I just have? Damn it. It was that one. I second guessed myself. Okay, you go in there. Okay. Now, grabs, you rotate, rotate, pivot, release. Okay. Why is it? Oh, I see what the problem is. Oh, it has to pivot twice. That might be a little bit of a problem, actually. That's getting a longer sequence than what I was hoping for. And it's not creating this the right shape anyway. Alright. Okay, that is not going to work. I could do... What do you think? I really need to put some more space between these parts, but I don't think I can. I already tried that and it didn't work for shit. But maybe I can try it a little more intelligently. For example, we could put the arm out here. Grab, move to there. grab, move to there. Okay, right back to where we were now. It's probably going to hit this on its way by, too. Like we could move this to there. That would then make it so it can't reach the middle here. But it doesn't need to reach the middle, actually. This one needs to reach the middle. So this might work with a double arm. Okay, let's try this. Arm 4 grabs, swings once, then arm 5 grabs, swings once, and arm 4 is to swing twice. Alright, it'll probably still collide. Oh yeah, you need to be over there. Oh, and arm 3 needs to be here. Okay, there we go. No? Okay, it works. Alright, and then arm 5, you need to be a double arm. And when it drops, you swing again twice and then drop on your own. You start there, obviously. Okay. Now, I could make this a little faster if I put this here. No, I couldn't. Because it would have to go right there, which we can't do. At least not easily. Alright, anyway, let's do the other side. Okay, the lead goes into the middle. That's going to be a fun complication here. Okay, we drop the lead there. Let's make you a triple arm. Okay. That gets one side in place. And then we could put one here that would grab a second one and move it to there. But then how do we get the lead from here to here? I think for this we're going to need a real abomination of a track. That doesn't explain how we're getting the lead over there, but it does free up more space to possibly do it in. Also, I want to make the track into an eventual loop. So I can have two arms on here. But that still doesn't explain how we're getting the lead over there. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so this will grab the iron, move it there. It becomes a lead. Then we could move it there and then pass it. And as it's passing, we do the shuffle here. Problem is it's gonna be kind of slow. Oh well, let's try it. Arm 2, you come down here, you're now arm 5. Arm 6, you're now arm 9. Okay. Arm 5. You become a triple arm. Arm 5. Grabs. Rotates once. Holds for some unknown amount of time. Rotates again. And releases. At that time, arm 6 grabs. Rotates twice and releases. At some indeterminate point, arms 7 and 8 both grab, advance 3 times, and then release. At some point, arm 9 is incapable of doing what it's supposed to do because arm 6 is in the way and it'll collide. Damn it, this isn't going to work at all. Damn it. Because arm 9 needs to swing and add him right through the hub of arm 6. Which it obviously cannot do. So this all has to be completely restructured. Wait. We could assemble it on a wheel. Not sure what the timing of this would be, but let's find out. Okay, arm 5. You grab. Yeah, rotate. Arm 6 grabs. Rotates. Rotates. Arm 5 rotates. You release. You release. Okay. Arm 5 is done with its job now. 6 releases. Regrabs. And then just continues rotating. Okay, arm 5 grabs a little bit too early. Arm 5 can be a double-ended arm. And we can add one more rotate after the release. That'll clear it well out of the way. Okay. So actually, I think we need to do one more rotate and then a release on arm 6. But I don't actually need to do it that way. Yeah, we could cut most of this back off. Okay, then we just hold right here. We don't do anything else. Which I think we would need to release right there. Okay. So we're not doing things at quite the right timings here. Oh, they're getting an extra weld, that's why. Okay. Let me think. We move to there. We move to there. We get an extra piece injected. And then, yeah, I don't think this is gonna work. We do need to have this whole sequence here. Unless we do this a little differently with an extra arm, which will make it faster. Because we will be able to remove a lot of bullshit from this. Okay. Now, that should do it. Oh, it grabs again immediately. We need a single space of pause in there. I could lengthen the period by 1 tick, and that would solve the issue. Not overly happy with that. We do have that extra tick delay in there. But I don't see any other way I could easily... The other side's much more elegant. Yeah, we only have one extra tick of delay that we can't get rid of. Like arm 4 is already only 1 tick shorter than arm 6. So even if we somehow magically removed a tick of delay from arm 6, that's all we would get. Because then we'd have to deal with arm 4. Now, to be clear, we could make arm 4 faster. Probably quite a bit faster, actually. Because we could split it into 2 separate arms. So then the real question would be, how could we split arm 6 into more arms? Well, not easily, for starters. Yeah, no, I'm okay with this. Armor polish. Well, that's a structure. Okay. These outer segments we would definitely assemble individually and then slot into a center segment. Okay, so we have 2 units of iron and 1 unit of water. Iron, we need to turn into tons of tin. Yeah. So turn iron into lots of tin. It looks like the solution is going to be Glyph of Division plus Glyph of Purification. So we do something like this. Okay. That'll get us 3 tins per cycle, I believe. Let's go ahead and program this real quick. Okay, arm 3, you're arm number 1. Arm 4, you're arm number 2. Okay. Arm number 1 and 2, you both grab. Arm number 2, you swing in like so. Arm number 1, you are counter rotating. And then both of you reset. Arm number 3 and 4, you both grab. Probably one tick later. Arm number 3, you swing downward. Arm number 4, swing upward. And then both of you reset. And if we test this, that does indeed produce 310. Okay, now, if we look at the structure of this design, if we get 3 tin per cycle, that's 2 tin for the outer bit and then 1 tin to weld onto the core. So, I think what we want here is a long arm. This is gonna really suck to put together, isn't it? Because nothing about this wants to be symmetrical. Like this stupid shape here, I can't have it facing across anyway. It can only face straight up. Which I can't place this so that it faces straight up, because that's not how that works. So it's either got to be canted off to one side or the other. So So you could do something like this. But then, once again, this piece can't fit in like that. So you would need to use separate welders. And that way, lieth insanity. Yeah. Wait a second. If I put an arm right here. No, that won't work. You have to be way up here. I could put an arm there. Grab a water. Swing it to there. Or just have a water here somehow. Doesn't matter how it gets there. Grab our tin from here, swing it up. Boom, we have a water tin welded onto this. And then swing it to there, but that's going to be obviously wrong. So this would have to be, like, to get this shape, we would need to have the water tin welded like that. Where this is water and that is tin. That way lieth insanity. No, that's not right. That's backwards. So this is tin, that's water. Okay. And then when we swing to here, this is water, that is tin. Let's get the shape we needed. We would need to weld the tin onto there. Somehow without it obscuring this tile. So that we could swing it out again. No, this is insane. Okay. At least that exact system is insane. First of all, let's go ahead and put a period extender way the hell out there so I don't have to worry about this colliding while messing with it. Let's confirm it does indeed work. I think I already did that. Yeah, okay. Now, the real trick is that we're going to need to do two separate things with this water. Okay. Yeah, this water is absolutely critical to the whole process. We can't do that over there. This is gonna mess up everything. Because we need one water to turn into a salt, to form the core of the shape. And that, combined with 3 of the tin, will make up the center shell or whatever. I think I need to focus more on making these arcs first. Because until I make them, I can't really do much of anything else. So this will be the obvious, easiest approach to making those. If I could make them all in one, like weld each arc and everything together all in one go, that'd be great. But I really don't see that being a reasonable thing to do. I'd really like to make the core piece and then weld the arcs onto it in one go. But because of the fact that we're getting our tins at the same time as the rest of it, it's really not helping with any of this stuff. So we could like set up a deal like this where we grab it and move it out of the way. Grab it, move it out of the way, grab it, move it out of the way. And then we have 3 tins just parked here in the middle while we're assembling the rest of them around it. So like that might work. But then we're going to have this thing sitting still for a long period while we then assemble off this wheel. Which I really don't want to do. I want everything to move smoothly and continuously. I really wish I had a second water, because that would make this so much easier. Because I could just have a water stuffed somewhere to serve as the core. And another water stuck someplace else. Or I could put a water on each side and do some assembly that way, or... yeah. Well, I suppose let's just ignore efficiency completely and make something that works. So, to do that, I could assemble this in a completely different manner than I was originally thinking. Instead of assembling these 3 arcs on the outside and then welding them on as we go, I could instead assemble the core and then weld the tins on as a separate step. Okay, first of all, this orientation for this design is not going to work. I want something a little bit less annoying to deal with. Okay. There we go. And that's not very workable either. It needs to be sideways, damn it. Yeah, because we need to be able to do this. Which means these need to be rotated. Okay. Ah, shit, that's not going to work because this is weirdly... Well, it can be made to work, I think. That's obnoxious. I hate the way this piece is designed. And this grid is really flippin' annoying sometimes. This is probably going to be the best place to put that. But that does mean we're going to have some imperfect organization here. Okay, let's test this. Now, that'll work beautifully. I think that'll work. And that should work as well. Okay. Let's go ahead and program these. They need to be one tile after that drop. Actually, these ones can go ahead a little closer. But I don't think it matters in this case. So they all grab. Arm 5 rotates that away. Arm 6 kind of rotates. Arm 7 rotates that way, I believe. And then they all reset. Okay, can I speed up arm 3 any faster in any way? No. No, I couldn't. Unless I move this in closer. Unless okay, this should work. It's less symmetrical, but it's more programmatically symmetrical, which is more useful. Okay, all of these can move forward one. Okay, so now I've just realized that this is backwards from how it actually needs to be. This needs to be forward one like that. which is going to make this harder to deal with. Yeah. Unless... No, because I can't single swing them. But I can't reach in all the way over top of this with a track or anything like that, which also makes this more complicated. There's nowhere I could position this where it would give me... Oh yeah, I could position it like this, but then it would definitely conflict with this, which is a bigger issue. What about on the other side? No, that's the same problem. I could maybe use a double arm. But it's still going to be slow as hell to do the whole flip. It'd just be fast and a single arm would be to do the whole flip. Like right now, these arms are all super fast. If we reprogrammed arm 7 to do this, it would add at least one instruction. And we would have to delay arms 5 and 6 a bit. Which is obviously a bad idea. Oops. A much better idea would be to have it sitting on a track here and somehow move these in one. Which... it's not really a reasonable thing to do. Let me think. We could slow them all down a little bit by using a track, having it swing and then push forward. But that will make the whole thing worse for no real gain. And also we kind of need the clearance so we can swing this whole thing more easily. So this has to be out here. And we definitely can't reach in from this side either. So I think we're just going to have to live with a double arm and some serious inefficiency and speed wise. So 7 would grab, it would rotate 3 times and release, and then arms 6 and 5 would have to move in much more slowly. So we could do that. That's introducing a lot of delay that probably otherwise doesn't have to be there. But we'll go with it for now. I'll see if I can fix it later. Alright. Now, this is obviously a case of we're going to have to assemble this out here somewhere and then slide it into place. And we're obviously going to need a long arm so we can swing the whole thing. Okay. So those guys have to sit over there somewhere. That's where that's got to sit at its most inward extension. It might not actually need a... Oh yeah, it's absolutely got to slide out of the way so it doesn't hammer into that stuff. Okay. Damn it. That should probably work. Just a one long. Because then this would be right here. One long probably isn't going to be enough, actually. Okay. So here's the idea. It grabs that water. It swings it to here. And then advances one tile maybe? No. Yeah. Because then we could do this. Grab a water. No, that's not going to work. It's really annoyingly placed. We'd have to worry about turning it into a salt later. Okay, is there anywhere I can position this that'll make this work? Not really. Well, I could do like... No, that's not going to work either. Damn it. It looks like it will, but it... Stupid grid ensures it won't. Well, we can rotate this, and that would work. Okay. I think this is how this is going to work. Arm 8 is the core of the whole system. Arm 8 starts by grabbing. And then it swings over. Arm 9 starts by grabbing immediately after that swing. It needs to be like a... probably just a straight up 6 arm. I think I'm going to stick it there, actually. So it's more out of the way of the rest of this down here. Because arms can reach over top of each other. You just can't swing atoms over top of them. Okay, so arm 9, grab, swing, release, repeat, repeat. Okay. So arm 8, grab, swing, and then rotate twice, and then rotate twice. Think this will work? No, it won't. Unless... that'll work. Okay. So that assembles the core. And then we need to turn it one more time. And then we move forward twice. And that welds on the first side. And then I just realized we can't turn this because arm 7 is right smack dab in the way. So we have to retract. Turn it twice, and then extend. This is definitely not going to be any speed demon. Okay, and at this point, we hopefully have another set of tins there. So we need to program that in. Okay, so the tins are removed at this point. So let's start over. Like that. Okay, these can probably be moved earlier though. Okay, well first of all, we're definitely colliding in some ways that we shouldn't. Okay, at this point, actually, how soon can we start? We could have started moving arms 1 and 2 almost immediately. Hello, Kirk. As far as I know, there are no hydrogen atoms involved. Okay. Extend that all forward by 1. Okay. Why is Arm 7 already moving? Oh, okay, yeah, because... Okay, Arm 7 actually needs to move forward by 1 then. Which means all this shit needs to move forward by 1. Which I don't think is actually possible because we were already colliding. Let's just confirm real quick. Yeah. So this all needs to be 1 tick later. But that does mean that this needs to be 1 tick later as well then. Okay. We're getting there. Now, after we weld, let's run that again, because okay, we weld, we retract, we weld, and then we need to retract again, which I think should happen here. Then we rotate again. Okay. Oh, whoops. Alright, so this needs to wait a little bit. We'll just put some extension on here for later. I need to insert some more time delay on some of these. Boom. Okay, you need to not insert quite so quickly. Where were we inserting exactly? It's 1 tick after those move. Okay. Roger that. Yeah, and then this is doing a weld that it shouldn't be doing, which is an immense problem. So I need to recalibrate this slightly. We grab, we swing to there. This does things. And then we need to swing it again after this is done. Before we move in. And we probably don't actually need this last pivot if we're going to do that. Well, let's find out. Wait. Yeah, I need to have it set to there. Okay, there we go. Okay, we do need that last pivot. Alright. However, this needs to retract one tick earlier. Okay, you need to wait a tick, that's right. And that means that these all need to go ahead by a tick. Okay, and then you do not go ahead until there. Actually, it's this one that's the problem. That one was also going to be a problem, though. Okay. So after this one, we retract again. And then okay, we retract twice. And then we swing up twice. And release. And that should reset the whole thing. Okay. Like now, it's when I realize this shit's all welded wrong. Damn it. Wait, no, it's correct. It's just not facing the right direction. There we go. And I don't know if this is going to loop properly or not. It is not. Okay. I think this needs to be a tri-arm. Yes. Okay, we could speed this up a lot. Or at least a little. By making it so it does it in phases. And those phases happen in parallel. It would not work very well without some serious editing, though, to how this works. So I don't think it's worth it. Like, what we could do is we could assemble this at the same time as we're assembling that. But to do that, we would have to move a lot of things around. In particular, the system for assembling the core would have to be shifted backward. That might be all that would have to be done with it. Well, that or we could design it to to not use the whole track. No, because this has to pull back all the way to swing, I think. Okay, let's try a little thing here. Let's only pull back one tile. This is not going to work, to be clear. It does clear. Okay, so that gives us an important bit of information. Well, thank you very much for the subscription, Dixit Chocobar. Greatly appreciate it. Did that pop up the alert? I don't think it did. That's annoying. Yeah, it produced a sound for me on my end, but that was for something different. Didn't actually produce the sound for the sub properly. Alright, well that's annoying. For some reason, the SSE stuff has just decided to be on the fritz today. I could probably fix it by refreshing the... yeah, anyway. Okay, so if I move this one tile ahead, we can do this. And that would save us a few movement instructions here and there. Okay, I am curious. Is it just completely broken, or is it just partially broken? Okay. I see the event pop up on my monitor thing over here, but I do not see it pop up in OBS. Now, what happens if I tell OBS to refresh the alert overlay? Let's refresh cache while we're at it. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, there we go. Yeah, I don't know what its problem is for sure. But it works now. Hopefully it stays that way. The weird thing is I haven't changed anything since it worked yesterday, so... And the only thing I changed since it worked for literal years was adding a new event. This on Linux? Yes. The stream overlay runs on a different computer though. It runs on a VPS that I have owned for years at this point. So it's not a Linux versus Windows thing. The stream overlay, I think I've actually posted the URL for it a few times before in Discord. But it's just a web page that's hosted on my website. Rendered at a specific size. Okay, let's run this to make sure nothing broke. Okay, well, except the obvious, of course. This needs to go ahead one, and that needs to go ahead one. Okay, there we go. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure why I thought it was a good idea to write all my own overlays and stuff once upon a time. It does give me a certain amount of flexibility to the system. And it does mean that I guess if anything goes wrong, I know who to yell at. Alright, is there any timings I can tighten up? Okay, so arms 5 and 6 cannot move until arm 7 is moved. So arm 7 is the real limiting factor here. But once arm 7 has started moving... No. Well, actually, wait. If I was to... flip some of these... I think that would allow us to get tighter timings on this. Because then they're not going to interfere. Yeah, none of the arms are in the metal system are going to interfere anymore. Alright. Yeah, but anyway. Also, it lets me do cool things like set up certain alerts to only play in certain clients. So I can have a separate web page that plays alerts specifically for me, and one that plays alerts specifically for OBS. That isn't a feature I added until recently, though. Although it's quite nice. I kind of wish I'd done it a long time ago now. Alright, so we can tighten these timings up a good bit. And we should maybe be able to make this so that these don't interfere with each other anymore. Yeah. Like, really, the underlying alert system is very simple. It was thrown together in an afternoon of being very annoyed with Twitch's APIs. Twitch's APIs are horrible, by the way. They are very poorly designed. There's multiple of them that don't interact well together. There's an old system for sending you stuff. There's a new system for sending you stuff. Some things support certain kinds of information. Some support other kinds of information. It's just, the whole thing is just the worst disaster of disgusting, horrible code you've seen top to bottom. And it's all... the most annoying auth system you've ever dealt with, too. Let me see. If I set this up, to start from the forward position instead of the reverse position, okay, then these are going to interfere. So this would have to go out here. Okay, so 8. Grab, swing, and then yeah, okay. So we need to move all of these back a whole bunch. which I can do. Okay, let's remove all of this. Remove that. Let's remove all of this, or not remove it, but move it. To there for now. That is not the right location for that, by the way. That goes like there, I think. Looks about right. Okay. No. Okay, you grab. You rotate. Okay, here actually, set up back like this. You grab. You rotate. You move forward. You move back. Now, arm 9. You need to be reversed for no particular reason. Okay, let's try that again. Okay. We're gonna have to insert some extra spacing here. Like so. So this is going to look incredibly wasteful. Doesn't this need to do another... Okay. No, that's not right. We don't actually need this here. No. Okay. Yeah, no, it's got to rotate one more time. But the problem is, the first thing it's going to do is it's going to grab and it's going to rotate one more time, which is going to put it in the wrong spot. So it doesn't actually have to rotate one more time. Okay, so So it lets go. And then it rotates into position. But it needs to let go and grab again after it rotates. Okay. That's what I'm missing here. So it doesn't actually need to grab or let go there. Yes, it does. Because it needs to be able to grab another new fresh one. But wait, that's not... Yeah. Twitch is off, still doesn't have passkeys. See, I don't care about the passkeys part. When you're doing server-to-server communication, you do not want to deal with OAuth. It just sucks. And Twitch uses OAuth for everything. So when you're doing server-to-server communication, you want to have an app token. And then you want to use bearer auth, where you pass that auth token in a header. It's very simple. You just sign your app up, you get your token, you go do the thing with your token. To create your token, you might have to do some OAuth bullshit, but that's always usually done through some kind of dashboard somewhere or something like that, where you log into the dashboard, you authorize the token for this thing, that thing, the other thing, you create your token, you have your token, you then take it to your app. Twitch doesn't work that way. Everything else does. Twitch doesn't. They're special. Okay, what am I doing that is wrong here? We grab. Okay, why are we grabbing and releasing here again? Doesn't make any sense. We grab, we move to there. Boom. Okay. Now. I see. That's why it's not working. Okay, you need to be like this. But then that means this has got to go over to here. And that means this has got to go over to here. But this should be more correct now. Okay, then when it resets, it swings. Okay, we need one more swing at the end then, which makes sense. Okay, then we're ready for the next sequence, where we assemble these. Okay. But we need to move these forward a little more. By exactly how much, though? All right. So right there is where we needed to have the first set dropped off. So these need to go ahead quite a lot. Let's try there. And how did this group sync up again? Okay, they're right before the second group. Okay. Like that. No. They are atoms, they're just alchemical atoms. In this case, we have elemental iron that we're working with, and we're turning it into elemental lead, and we're using elemental water. Okay, that lined up so much better than I could have hoped. Okay, and the problem here is we are going way too fast on this sequence. Okay, let's try this out to start again. Boom. Okay, everything arrives exactly at the right time for this sequence. Then okay. So between the first group and the second group, we need to wait a while. TM. Yeah, lead into gold is easy. Right now we're turning iron into armor polish. Let's see. Let's add 4 ticks of delay. Okay, that obviously isn't working. Wait, what am I doing? We can tighten the timings up on this so much because I changed all these now so that they don't interfere with each other anymore. So let's pull all this stuff back 4 ticks. Well, 4 ticks is probably too much, actually. Let me think. Let's work on just the... Okay, Arm 7 is the real problem here, and there's nothing I can do about Arm 7. Well, there is. I can get it to move faster. Okay, we're moving it back by 3 ticks. Okay. Let's see how badly this collides. Very badly. That's how badly it collides. Alright, Arm 5, you need to have swung before Arm 1 and 2. Let me think. Okay, Arm 1 grabs, swings, drops. Arm 3 and 4 must move after that has stopped. And then Arm 7 must move. Which we can move right there, I think. So we could move one tick faster at Arm 7. Yeah, okay, Arm 7 has started moving. Arm 8 is there one tick too quickly. Which means all of this mess needs to go forward one tick. Okay. Now let's start over. No. That is incorrect. Arm 8 is moving way too quickly compared to the others. Okay, let's see. This is the startup sequence. Grab, rotate, boom. Okay. Move forward is the first weld. That is where this needs to have finished its cycle. So I think this needs to go forward a bit, actually, because I believe we need more delay on that. But how much delay is a good question. Well, technically I don't need any delay on it. Okay, so these need to start a lot sooner. Alright. Can you produce the green balls in a location, then later combine at the center? No. I only have one source of them. That's the real problem here, is that I only have a certain number of sources for reagents. So I only have one source of the water. And so they must be assembled more or less in one place. Here's the shape we're trying to make. The center bit here, the white piece, is just one of these green ones that's had a little extra processing done to it. That is not relevant to anything we're doing here, really. So what we're doing is we're assembling this wing-shaped piece in the center first, and then we swing it down here, and we weld arcs of these outer metal in place. Yeah, that design worked, but this one should be much more efficient when it's done. I just need to get all the timings right. Which means that these can't collide with each other. Okay. Wait, when is Arm 7 arriving? Okay. So for starters, 5 and 6 are moving a tick later than they should. At least. Although that's not the entire problem. Okay. And for starters, arms 1 and 2 are moving 1 tick earlier than they should. Which means 3 and 4 are moving a tick earlier than they should. So we need to institute just a little tiny bit more delay. Okay, actually, let's watch this more closely. Yeah, okay. Arm 1 and 2 still needs to move a little slower. Really? Yeah, I guess. All right. So this should all have arrived just a little tiny bit later. We think. All right, I think that's the tightest timing we can get on this side of things. So now we need to sync the two up. Yeah. Pretty sure that is the tightest timing we can get on that side of things. So this means this whole system has to be moved back. Like 3 or 4 ticks. That shouldn't be too bad. We'll move it 2. Okay, so the second stage is just a little bit too fast on this, which I can fix by moving this. I'd like to have consistent timing between each stage. So here's the stages. So what I really want to do is I want to time the first stage so the weld arrives exactly on okay, so this still needs to be slowed down by another. We'll do 3 ticks this time. In this case, slowing it, okay, that's perfect. That's exactly the way we want it. All right, and then we need to increase we need to put 3 ticks of delay between this section and this section. And this is probably going to throw everything off, but we'll see. It's going to get started too soon now. Yep. Okay, so this needs to be moved back. Three more ticks, I think, is correct. This one's turning out to be very messy. Okay, it needs to be one more tick back. The last time I programmed something like this to be completely parallel, not only was it a simpler design with simpler stages. Okay, what happened there? It's moving too fast. Here. Let's put some more delay in there. No, it's still... What if we do it like that? Okay. Okay. This might work. I think we need to insert an extra drop somewhere to make that work, but we have the time to do that. Also, we are like 1 tick off on some of our timings. Like, we could have arrived right then. That's like 2 ticks off on that second insert. That's like 3 ticks off, probably. Yeah, we need to have an extra drop. Let's see. Okay, first of all, let's see if we can tighten these up a little bit. You can come back 1. Okay. That should be the right amount of delay between them, I think. Now we just need to recalibrate the start time, which they need to be like 2 ticks slower. Because anytime we change the length of the instructions for ARM8, we also have to change the start time. Okay. That was incorrect, for sure. I should have started to start 2 ticks earlier, I think. Yeah. I moved it the wrong way. Anytime I change the length of the instructions, I also have to change the start position because that changes where during the timeline the second phase starts. Yeah, see, that's much more correct. That's perfect. And there we have cycle 1. Okay. We have a problem here that the sequence is slightly too short. We need to add probably 1 tick of extra length there, looking at the length of the instruction sequences. And then I need to decide where we do the drop. I think we can just straight up do this right there. Okay, that was 22 cycles faster than the previous one, but we can make it even faster by changing where we do the drop to right there. Okay. Now, this is going to throw everything off. But not really. If I move these two, put that in there, move these two there, that should shave a few cycles off. Okay. Forgot how long that alert was. It's not that long. It's just long enough. Yeah, 173 instead of 176. So we saved a whole 3 cycles by changing that. We could probably adjust a few things to make it more efficient here and there. But, I think I'm good with that. We're actually on the lower side of what a lot of people's costs were for this, although we are rather on the high side for area. And we're right smack dab in the middle of the most common speed. Let's at least look at what this one looks like. Okay. Well, that's interesting. 3 separate shapes. All with identical, but differently formed. And we have a ton of elemental fire reagents and 1 singular gold with which to make all of those coppers. Yeah, copper. So I think we can split gold with a glyph of division to get copper. Or does that give me copper and iron? I don't remember. Let's find out. Yeah, it gives me irons, okay. So we probably don't want to use this then.
AK-47s for everyone!
Oh, that's a good game. This is normally the point where I'd say I should play it again, but I didn't play it that long ago. Someone should make a Command & Conquer Generals too, but I don't trust EA to do it, so I'm not sure who to have do it. So we could downgrade the gold into coppers. The problem with that is that then we end up with a ton of Quicksilver I have to do something with. How am I supposed to do this either, anyway? Because if I split them, I get irons. And iron needs a Quicksilver to get to copper. I guess what I'm going to have to do how many Quicksilvers do I get out of a gold to turn it into a copper? It's like 2, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so here's what we gotta do. We need to use a Glyph of Rejection to turn a gold into 2 Quicksilvers and a copper. That gets us 1 of the coppers we need, and it gets us 2 Quicksilvers. Then I need to split a gold into 2 irons. And I take those 2 irons and those 2 Quicksilvers and make the other 2 coppers I need. And then I need to build 3 separate machines, each with their own fire reagent, to take those 3 separately produced coppers and make these 3 shapes. That is going to be an absolute pain in the ass. Let me see. All right. This is going to be a really horrible machine. We grab, we rotate, reset. Then 4 and 5. can both grab. Right there. That's the earliest possible moment they could grab. 5 spins that way, 4 spins this way. The problem is they're then immediately going to run into each other and collide, which we don't want. So 4 will get there first, and 5 will start out later at some random point in the distant future. Also, let's put a extender out here just so we don't have to worry about the machine repeating before I'm ready to start worrying about the implications of that. Arm 2. You, as soon as arm 1 is out of the way, will grab. Rotate. And just hold for a bit. Arm 3. You are going to be one of these multi-arms. You are going to be grabbing. Once arm 2 is in position, you'll grab. You'll rotate. You'll release. And you'll repeat. And before you can repeat, arm 2 will rotate again. So there, I believe. Okay, arm 4, you need to rotate the other direction. And arm 3, you cannot rotate that way. That is deeply unfortunate. Although I think we can do this instead. Okay, arm 3, you need to rotate a little more slowly. Okay. Let's just program arm 6 here for a second. Arm 4, you release as soon as you arrive. Arm 6, you grab as soon as it releases. And then you rotate away right away as well. Okay. Well, we got our 3 coppers. 2 of them over here and 1 over here. Okay, arm 5, you can probably start moving a little sooner. Arm 6. How about if you rotated the other way? Okay, arm 5 arrives at the right moment. And then arm 7 grabs and rotates that way, just to get it swung out. Arm 5, you need to let go once you arrive. Okay. Now, can I... That's not gonna work. Of course it won't. It's like this would be kind of elegant in a way if I could make this work, because I could grab, swing, weld, but I would need another fire one there. Swing, weld, swing, drop off, reset. Okay, we're gonna need another fire one down here for whatever we end up assembling down here. I'm just gonna assume it's that one for now. And then where's the other one end up? It ends up way the hell over here. So the idea of maybe using this fire atom for that is not really workable either. Okay. So arm H. Arm 9. You grab. You swing. Arm H. You swing at the same time. Doesn't really matter. I'm just trying to make things a little more efficient, hopefully. Okay, so they both swing. Arm 8 then grabs. Arm 9 goes forward. Arm 9 resets. Arm 8 swings again. And swings again. And releases. No. Okay. And this bit's has to arrive at exactly the tick that copper arrives, which is right there. So I believe that's the right timing. Yes. However, arm 7 has to let go. And then it smacks right into arm 6, because of course it does. Okay, well arm 6, you don't actually have to be right there. You could be over here. But then of course we can't swing anywhere. So it does kind of have to be over here. We could flip this whole thing. Okay. And then Arm 8 needs to have all of its instructions reversed. And Arm 7, Arm 9 needs to have its instructions reversed. And Arm 8 needs to be put into the right spot to start. Okay. That's a start. Now, this monstrosity. Okay. Then we're going to do the good old classic like that. Okay, Arm 10, grab, rotate, release, grab, rotate, don't release, rotate. Boom. Then this arm would grab that, swing it like this. And that'll be exactly that shape. Okay. Arm 11. Okay, yeah, you do release there. Then Arm 11, you grab when that releases. You rotate again, and you reset. Arm 9, you need to reset. You are resetting, good. Now these need to be moved to line up with whenever Arm 7 rotates down, which happens here-ish. That should be the right timing, I think. No, wait, it's Arm 6 they need to align with. Wait, what? Oh. I screwed this up. It's Arm 6 that's the one delivering the metal, not Arm 7. Okay, that immediately makes this more complicated. But then we don't have room to put this up here so that Arm 11 can't do its... Arm 11 can't handle delivering the thing. Arm 6, you do reset, right? No, you do not. Okay. Well, now you do. That does mean that this needs to deliver... Okay, Arm 11 needs to deliver at the same time as Arm 6 does. And I need to set Arm 6 to be in position. Boom, the shape is made. Okay, now we just need to grab it and move it out of the way, which we'll have to do with yet another arm. So let's see, this is the shape as it sets. So that should do it. Arm 12. As Arm 11 releases, you grab, you rotate, you reset. And we're done. With that section anyway. Now, there's one more section up here. Okay. Now we just need another one of these. Except I think I want it to be on the other side. Yeah. And I probably want to rotate it even more. So that our piece ends up like this. And we can grab it off the end here and swing it like that. Which means right here. And then you get rotated like so and put here. Okay. Arm 13 is an identical copy of Arm 10, basically. So grab, rotate, release, grab, rotate, rotate, release. And then Arm 14, grab, rotate, do not release, hold for a little bit, rotate, reset. And then this needs to be lined up with Arm 2, which Arm 2 drops, Arm 2 never drops. But it should drop right here. So I think that was actually lined up perfectly already. Or at least well enough. Okay, Arm 2 doesn't drop, it resets. Or it should anyway. Okay. Let's remove that and let's find out how horribly things collide when they're running at max speed. Like that. Okay, who is grabbing what? 4, 5, and 6 are all colliding in some way. Okay, 4 is grabbing. And 6 is not doing anything. Five isn't doing anything. Oh, it's arm 7 it's interfering with. Okay, arm 7 needs time to get out of the way then. I think I need to institute 2 ticks of delay. Okay, let's make that 3 ticks of delay. Arm 4, what do you think you're doing? Let's make that 5 ticks of delay. Oh, arm 7's not resetting, that's what's happening. Because some of these arms aren't supposed to reset, and some of them are. Okay, we might be able to remove 1 tick of delay now. Yeah, because the problem was arm 7 was not resetting, and that was... Okay. 75 cycles. Our area is rather large. Cost is dead center in the middle of the road. Let's try removing 1 tick of artificial delay and see what happens. It probably isn't going to work. Yeah, I know. Okay, we do need that 1 tick. Unless we speed up some other things somehow, but... There's a little too much confliction going on. This is definitely not a very well-designed machine. The timings are tight, not because things are working efficiently, but because it's cumbersome. I believe that finishes chapter 2 then. Chapter 3. Well, it is 10:50, so I honestly did not think we would get that last puzzle completed before. I kind of went into it thinking we would get a little bit done of the beginning of it and then come back and finish the rest, but yeah. I guess we'll look at the next little chunk of story tomorrow. Yeah. Tomorrow is Wednesday. And so I do believe that means we will have more Opus Magnum. I strongly doubt we'll finish it tomorrow. We'll probably need to do a little bit of it next week as well. Yeah. Thursday, of course, will be some Zoo Tycoon 1. Continue working our way through the base game. And then Friday should be some EDF. And Saturday and Sunday, we'll see. We'll definitely start out with Red Solstice 1, but I'm pretty sure we'll finish that at some point during the week, and then can move on to whatever I decide to do next. I don't think I'm going to do Red Solstice 2 immediately after Red Solstice 1. But it'll follow sometime afterwards for sure. And then, of course, Monday will be Crab Champions. And next Tuesday will likely, unless I somehow manage to finish the entire last chapter tomorrow, be at least a little bit more Opus Magnum. But anyway, let's see. Is anyone doing anything on the all follow list tonight? Nope. No, they're not. Okay, well, I guess I got spoiled there when Noms was streaming every day for a while. Alas, good things can't last forever. Hopefully, I see you all back here tomorrow for more alchemy. And I will see you all later. Good night and goodbye.